All right, so this is our ankle sequence. Just to get some heat into the ankles, will also help with the mobility. We're going to start by sitting onto the heels, onto the tops of the feet. This might feel a little bit uncomfortable for some, so what you can also do is pop a cushion just under your bum if you can't quite get the bum to the heels. So from here, we're going to use the hands, and all I'm going to do is hook the toes and sit back onto the heels again. So now I'm stretching into the soles of my feet, working through the toes, and this just feels really good if you've spent quite a lot of time stood or on your feet all day. Just helps to loosen them off. So then from here, I'm going to use my hands, go back into a squat variation, and this might be that I have to keep the heels up to begin with. If you can, we want to start working those heels down to the floor. From here, I'm going to come back up onto the tops of the feet, lower the knees down, and then sit back on top of the heels, working into the soles of those feet again. I can unhook the toes from here and sit back to the heels. In this position, we can add some other variations in, so maybe raising one knee up and then the other, maybe both, and you can use the hands here to help do that. So that's going to feel that in the tops of the ankles and all the way through my shins as well. And then working back, hook the toes back into a squat with or without the hands. So without the hands this time, I'm going to go up onto the tops of the feet, start to really lower down with control, as much control as possible. So we're trying not to slam the knees into the floor. Lightly touch the mat with the knees, unhook the toes, and then from here again, maybe do single leg or double leg with the hands or without the hands. So rather than moving super fast through these positions, try and think about moving nice and slowly with control, which is going to really help build up the awareness and balance and control working through that range. So that's the first part of the ankle sequence. You might want to do that anywhere from 1 minute to a few minutes, however much time you feel you need. Get some heat into the ankles. And then the next one we're going to do is working through that position in the foot, which is called dorsiflexion, which is required for our squats or our pistols. And a lot of the time we find if we're limited there, the heel starts to come up or we struggle to get into a good position. So all we're going to do from here is kneel down, and I'm going to think about driving the knee forwards over the toes. What I'm not doing is letting that knee drop inwards here. So I'm thinking about pressing it over the toes to where I can. And you might stay here for a minute or two. You can rock in and out of that position, or you can just hold it statically. The other option is to get hold of a weight and just pop it on top of the thigh and just help with a little bit more of a weight bias, help to get that knee even further forward. The key point here is that the heel stays down. So avoiding letting that heel lift up, which will defeat the point of this particular movement. So once you've spent a minute or so on both sides and you've done that ankle sequence, should be ready to go for your squat session or anything that you're using it for. Maybe you're just using it as a recovery day to work on your mobility.